Hi and welcome to this episode 2. So I wanted to continue our Reiki Rookie learning program, and today we're going to talk more about subtle energy, but within a different field. So last time we tried it, we tested what it was, and then we put it in our heart. Today I want to tell you something. And maybe you already know it. Maybe you don't need me to tell you about this. But the whole world around us is conscious. Okay? When maybe you have seen that the rivers or the ocean or the trees, everything is conscious. And what we mean by conscious, it means that they are all living. They are not objects. They are all important things in this planet, and we when we are kids, when we are young, we understand this very deeply, that the dog is amazingly has a personality, and it's the same with plants and trees and the sky and the world around us. So I wanted to show you that because they're alive, because they are just conscious, just people, we can work with them, we could communicate and exchange with them. So I gathered 3 things today that we can play with, and we're gonna just read their energy, we're gonna take their energy, and then we're gonna give it to ourselves or to the world around us. So I've got water, because water, I don't know if you've seen Frozen 2, but they say that water has memory, and it's true. It's been tested. Water has a memory, which means that when you drink it, you also drink the memory. And memory can be memories, but it can also be energy. So we're going to take care of every water that we drink and the water that we give to our plants and our animals. We're just going to take care of this by giving it some beautiful energy. And then I have 2 seashells, because before they used to be alive in the sea, and now they're here with me, but their energy stays. So we could work with them, we could talk with them, we could exchange with them, and maybe give them some energy. All right? Thank you so much. So let's start. Let's start with water. So this is normal water, okay? I didn't do anything to it, but I'm expecting myself to take some time before drinking it. And just like we did with the subtle energy the day before, we're going to hold it between our hands, and we're going to think about some energy that we want to give. It could be anything, but I want to focus on love, the love that we have for anyone in the world. And we're going to take that from our heart, and we're going to let that energy go into our arms and our hands. And that energy is going to go into the water. And maybe you could say out loud something like, I have my intention, I want to have a beautiful, loving day. And that whoever drinks this water has a beautiful, loving day. And then you really take the time to spend your consciousness, your time, your presence with it. I just have something to say. If you give energy to something, like water or anything, you have to tell the people that you give it to. You don't just give them water with loving energy. You tell them before, because you have to ask them for permission. Maybe they don't want to have a loving day. It's an example, but when you give energy healing to something, always mention it to the people and ask for their permission. And it's the same for them. If they do something to you, they always have to ask you for permission, because you are an authority on who you are. Your soul, you decide. You decide for you. And now if you are kids, your parents decide for your physical well-being and for your well-being in general. But for energy, you decide. All right? So always you make the choice, and you offer the choice to the people when you give them something. Okay? So now we're gonna work with this beautiful seashell. Do you see all of this? And you can see the inside as well. So it used to live in the sea. This is called a tiger cowrie. In French we have another name. I'm from France. I am not English or American. And in French we call this piglet, like it's a little pig. Anyway, so we're going to work with the seashell, and we're going to maybe give it energy. So you could hold it into your hand, you could put it against your heart, you could put it against your throat. And you could just turn it around and look at this and just let it speak to you. There is something called intuition, and it's something that happens when you don't put your presence, your decision into things, and you just wait to see if an object, if the world is giving you a message. So are you listening to the message? So this one tells me that it wants to be in my left hand, because my left hand usually captures the energy and my right hand gives the energy. So this one wants to be here and help me capture the energy. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna ask for this to help me. So I'm setting an intention. I'm gonna ask for it to help me to maybe receive what I'm ready to receive from the world. Maybe it's some kind of a really good journey, a really good day, maybe some love, maybe some hugs, maybe good laughters with my friends. And I'm gonna help it to gather this energy and then give it to me, okay? So you can do the same with any kind of object that you have in your house. Sometimes the object will tell you, and what you should try to do is go with the first intuition, which is the first idea you have. Not something that you have to think about for 10 minutes. Really, the first thing that comes to you, it's usually because the conversation, they're talking to you, okay? And then you just have to listen. I can listen and I can feel the energy. Maybe for you it's something else. Maybe you can see, maybe you can feel some warmth, maybe it's tingly, it does like tick, 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 tick. It depends. You can do this and you can receive it for yourself, or you could use your right hand and give it to something, so maybe the water, and you could do this. And you are using yourself as a bridge. Or you could give it to a plant that you enjoy in your house, or maybe a tree, or maybe the grass, or maybe a dog. You ask them for consent all the time as well. You ask them, hi tree, hi plant, do you want some energy right now? Do you want to receive the energy? And then you listen again. And maybe you will sense when it says no, or when it says yeah. So that was an example. My last example is something that maybe you already know. There's something called geometry in this world. Geometry is the study of the shapes that we have in the world. We have the square, we have the circle, we have the triangle, we have many different shapes. And there is a shape that is called the golden ratio, and it's like a snail, and we can find it everywhere in the world. We can find it in this and many different other things, but I wanted to show you this shape so that maybe you could start trying this energy, this specific shape on you, like a sign, like a symbol, and see what it feels like, because it really helps to go deep inside of you and listen. And it also helps to take something that's outside of you and show it to others. I'm going to show you what it looks like again. So sometimes when you want to help yourself and to do something with the energy, you can just close your eyes and breathe, and you could visualize behind your eyes this little symbol and see what happens. And maybe you could give it a name. Maybe you could call it golden ratio or gold or little snail, whatever you enjoy. But this will help you, okay? Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions, you can write a comment or ask your parents to write a comment or send me a message. And I'll see you in the next episode. Enjoy. Bye.